Okay, now that I'm recording, here's the problem I have with this game. The only character I give a shit about in this entire game is straight up Waltz. Chromaria was boring. The main cast has been just shoved aside lately. You know, after the whole, like, realization that Fursetti is the actual Kai and so on and so forth, we barely had any character development for anybody, apart from, like, oh no, you know, Angie is the reactor, I guess. And just, like, even then, like, 90% of the characters were just kind of these weird anime tropey characters. Waltz was the only one with, like, really charisma or, like, style? And so, like, I'm actually totally fine with the fact that she survived there. It's just, like, it just... I can keep going. We can do one more mission. I think I need one more mission, and we'll see if it gets more, like, ridiculous or not. And so it's like, I'm totally fine with things going off the walls, but I almost feel like the gameplay doesn't reflect any of this. Okay, after this chapter, the story gets ramped up and starts to move along. That's good, because, like, I like this game a lot, but I think that the last two missions, like, I really bounced hard off of them. The first, I beat in one round. I just shelved the guy into oblivion. That was it. And then the second, I was just like, alright, I guess this is an escort quest, so Raz can flamethrower a lady. How many times in the 57 times in the chest? Let's just go with a random number. I think that's a, Llamas with Hats reference, but, you know, straight up, like, neither of those missions matched the tone of the cutscenes at all, or, like, any of the immediacy or anything like that, and it's like, I want this to be off the walls. Either, if you're gonna make a game go crazy like this, you have to make the gameplay ramp up in such, like, an insane way that it matches, or you keep it down to earth, and I think whoever made the missions and the combat and whatnot didn't have the same... I don't know if they were talking to each other. I think it was 4 to 6 times with the flamethrower. I want to say it was more than that. Thanks for the bits. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's just been a little weird lately, and let's see where it goes from here.
Captain Morgan. Captain Wallace is here to see you, sir.
Hello, Mr. Wallace. I heard you managed to take down the Valkyria. Fine work indeed.
Captain.
The captain has something important to tell you. Listen carefully.
Huh?
Captain Claude Wallace.
Yes, sir.
I hereby grant you full command of Operation Cygnus.
Captain? What are you...
Claude, the captain hasn't finished yet.
It's time I told you everything. The secret of this ship. The true purpose of Operation Cygnus.
Chapter 16. Fursetti's Judgment.
Like, I guess, to go back to my point from that, before that short little cutscene, I think what would satisfy me with this game is if we slowly got more and more ridiculous stuff as we went along. You know, none of the characters really changed over the course of this. And, like, I want straight up at some point for us to, like, just get mech suits. And, like, one of the characters to suddenly develop equally ridiculous wizard powers. And so, like, every battle maybe doesn't add something new. You know, maybe the wizard powers aren't actually that powerful. But, you know, it slowly just raises the hype factor. And I feel like the hype factor is like this weird all over the place thing. It's like, oh no, she's gonna blow up. Oh no, no, they're gonna go have a love story, happily ever after thing back in the Empire? Question mark. Like, and they're not gonna get caught for this. I don't know. I just want like some mech suits in this game and some magic. Yeah, Mecha Squad versus Snow Wizards. Just go off the walls, because like you have so much potential here. There's no mech suit and neither magical girl. That was Valkyria Chronicles 1. Wait, what the? There was a mech suit in the first one? And this is the 4th game. Okay. No, I've been having this problem with JRPGs a lot lately, where the first game is amazing. You know, did something great, had brilliant ideas. And, you know, maybe it was a little rough around the edges and could have been better in a number of different ways. And then, like, then they just kind of lose it a little bit. Like, Xenoblade is a great example. Xenoblade 1 was amazing. Fairly down to earth for how off the walls. You know, the plot got kind of nuts, from what I remember. I think that game actually had, like, a good way of like ramping up the hype. I should probably do a series on it or something like that. And then Xenoblade Chronicles X was this like weird side quest mishmash nonsense, and like it had a good idea, but it felt weird. And then Xenoblade Chronicles 2 went like full anime, and it was really weird, and it's like it feels like missed opportunities. It feels like they could have developed, they could have added stuff. So I know that this is happening in parallel to Valkyria Chronicles 1. But, like, I feel like apart from just iterating, you need to improve upon. You need to kind of make sure that your next game fulfills things. Like, I had this problem with Ni no Kuni. I never played Ni no Kuni 1, but a lot of people talked about it being this, you know, fairly nice, heartwarming game with some interesting mechanics. I played Ni no Kuni 2, and the plot was so boring. You know, there were no villains in that one. And even this kind of falls in the same vein. Like, there's no villains. You know, Forseti is trying to rescue all the Valkyria, I guess. And Waltz and Chromaria, there we go. You know, they're gonna go off and have their happily ever after. And, you know, I'm kind of fine with that. But it's like... I just feel like if you want to make a good sequel, you really do have to like build upon the previous ones. And so in this one, it feels like they were regressed. You know, I've heard from a lot of people that there was significantly less anime tropes and stuff. And I don't know if this is like a thing with JRPGs, if this is like a Japan thing right now. If this is a, you know, the bigwigs at Sega stepping in and being like, no, you know what's popular right now? Really weeb stuff. And this is very anime-y. This is less. No. Wasn't Valkyria Chronicles 1 less anime from what I've heard? I've never played it, but I heard it was significantly less anime-y. And I don't know. And I probably should go back and play it, but, like... I feel like there's this, like, weird list of tropes that everybody shares around after a certain point, and it sucks a little bit, because I want... Yeah, Valkyria Chronicles 1 had an anime adaptation, but there's a difference between anime adaptations and, like, anime style. You know, what's a good example? Cowboy Bebop. It's an anime, yeah, but, like, it's not very tropey. It's fairly original and very satisfying the entire way through. You know, Full Metal Alchemist had some weird tropey moments and anime moments and stuff like that. But, like, you know, I feel like we're hitting this weird singularity with a lot of Japanese media where I think maybe they don't have a really solid idea. They know we need to make another game, but we don't really know what to write in it. And so they just kind of go with like tried and true methods, and it's starting to feel a little stale. And I see this in writing too. There's a whole generation of people, I think, that were raised on these tropes. And you read a book sometimes and it's like, holy crap, this was written by somebody that really freaking loves DBZ, or really freaking loves, you know, what's a good example? I mean, I read a lot of like, well, I read for a summer, I read a lot of Chinese cultivation novels, and it's like, you start seeing the same tropes over and over and over again. You see it in the Japanese light novel, the Japanese light novel industry, the whole of the isekai, whatever, genre, is almost weirdly based off of Dragon Quest. And it's very strange and jarring. Because I already have Dragon Quest. I already have a bunch of anime. And I got really excited about this in the beginning because it really seemed like this earnest military story. And I'm a little weirded out by how far we've gone. I'm really sorry that we've gotten, like, you know, so far into Wanderbots kind of mad about the state of writing in video games, but, like, it's just exhausting. Because this is part of the reason why I can't finish some games. This is why I couldn't finish the most recent Digimon game. Because it did the same thing. It had the weird anime stuff. That, like, it doesn't make you feel satisfied, you know, watching a character bumble around, you know, faux romance with people, or, like, cutesy little characters that add nothing to the plot apart from just being there. And it's like, these could be these really interesting games, but instead they just have this, like, weird checklist that they all share. And it's like if you go to a restaurant and you order, you know, some new dish and it tastes exactly like another dish. Like if I go and order a veggie burger, I expect the veggie burger to taste completely different from the Thai burger I had, even though they're kind of similar in the similar, like, the vein. You know, they're both burgers. Like, I had a veggie burger earlier today and it was delicious. I've admittedly had the same veggie burgers over and over and over again, but they're always delicious and I know what I'm getting. But if I walk over to McDonald's or Chick-fil-A and I get a different burger, it should taste like a different burger. But instead, I'm getting anime.
The portside cannons are ready for combat!
Hurry and tell the Fire Directions Center.
Don't have much time before we reach the capital.
Attention, everyone aboard the Centurion.
Wait, that's not the captain.
It's Claude from Squad E.
This is Captain Claude Wallace. I have an announcement to make. Please, stop working and listen. Moments ago, Captain Morgan entrusted me with command over Operation Cygnus. I know I'm not worthy of this responsibility, but I'll give all I've got to see it through. Soon, our ship will arrive at Schwarzgrad. The road here was a long one. We lost our sister ships and more of our comrades than I can say. However, we overcame that loss to carry out our duty. Which is why there's something I have to tell you. All of you. The true purpose of Operation Cygnus. This ship holds a weapon of mass destruction. The A2 bomb. You all saw what happened to the Cavalier. You know how powerful it is. Our mission is to detonate the A2 bomb from within the Imperial capital. Should we succeed, we cut off the head of the snake. If Schwarzgrad falls, their army falls with it. We are to infiltrate the capital and detonate the charge stored in the main reactor. Once it's activated, there's no stopping it. We'll have an hour until it detonates. Allies will be there to lead us to the suburbs outside the blast radius. From there, we will watch the end of the Empire. I repeat, our final objective is to set off the A2 bomb. Let's end this war with our own 2 hands.
We can do this! We're gonna win!
Peace. Finally! We'll get to go home!
Okay, I got one more mini rant before we keep going. So, obviously, I'm a huge weeb, regardless of my complaints. And on a more like positive note, there are a couple of anime and manga and whatever that actually feel really good. And I don't know, somebody's saying in chat, I don't know if there's a solution to the vanillification of the media that we love. There is a way around it. The main problem is you just have to almost kind of vote with your wallet, vote with your views, vote with your whatever. If you see something that is really vanilla and boring, just stop. You know, find something else. There's a billion indie games out there that deserve your attention more than maybe even this game, because I like this game. The combat is fun. And I'm glad that it only costs $40. It's part of the reason why I'm, you know, I didn't just immediately write it off as just like, ugh. The moment I get to this point, because yeah, realistically, this game is worth the money that you would put into it. The combat is fun and a bunch of other things. But the way to do it is just find original products. They're out there. There's tons. You know, I played Wandersong 2 weeks ago, and it was amazing. That game is 3 weeks ago. That game is fantastic. It may not introduce that many new things, but it felt like a breath of fresh air. You know, I read Goblin Slayer, which is an anime manga, I guess it's even a light novel series, and it feels very satisfying because it is fresh. It introduces some new you know, ideas, and the character isn't just this overpowered Chad harem protagonist. You know, he's a troubled person with, you know, a very realistic goal, and the story kind of stays within its constraints, and it's very satisfying. And there's another manga that I read, oh, it's called Dining in Dungeon or something like that. I totally forget the name of it. But it's about, like, effectively a D&D adventuring party, and it's really satisfying. And so, if you want to avoid the vanillification of stuff, just go find the good stuff, the interesting things. You know, I was playing Crosscode right before this game. It's a small game made by a small team, and it's fantastic. Yeah, the Goblin Slayer anime aired now. Yeah, I saw the first episode. It wasn't bad. I really don't like how dark they get with the story, but I love the world and the characters they created, so I'll look past it even if I hate it. Dungeon Meshi. There we go. I love Dungeon Meshi. That's my favorite manga ever. And it's such a shame that I think the Western audience hasn't found that one that much yet. But anyway. Yeah, Dungeon Meshi is fantastic. There's a couple other ones, like The Abyss. Whatever the Abyss manga anime is. That one's really unique and interesting. Problem is, it's also really freaking dark and a little gross. A little creepy. But it's original, at least. So, yeah. I've got my grumps about how not interesting some plots are, but there are actually good things here and there. You just might have to look a little bit more. Goblin Slayer at a certain point is just D&D in manga form. Yeah, and that's fine, kind of. Dungeon Meshi is your favorite list too. Yeah, it's so good. I really want them to make an anime. Honestly, I would love for them to make like a proper RPG for that. Oh, I'd play the hell out of that if it was good.
So we have a secret weapon. Utterly incredible.
Just gotta bum rush the capital, chuck the bomb in, and boom! Good night, Empire, right?
Made in Abyss. That was the title. There we go.
I like it. Let's blow them sky high!
It's our last resort, but it's true. This will end the war.
The captain was smart to leave Claude in charge. If anyone can lead the operation, it's him.
Victory is so close, I can taste it. I swear to make this mission a success. The A2 bomb? That must be...
Oh no. Is it? It must be. Oh, that's bad. Battle Chasers was cool. I hope they make a sequel. Yeah, I'm hoping like Darksiders 3 is good, even though it's probably not going to be as good. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going. I'm going to be stuck on this topic while we skip through these cutscenes. Then I'll be thinking about them instead of the cutscenes. It's bad.
Well done, Claude. Here. You'll need this key to activate the A2 bomb. The captain entrusted everything to you, including our support. Please, lead us all to victory.
The key to ending it all. This is it. Let's finish the war, once and for all.
I'm assuming A2 is Angie. Probably.
Look at you, the big boss of Operation Cygnus. What a twist. I never saw it coming.
I'm not calling the shots. I'm just pulling the trigger.
Hey man, you okay? Don't tell me you're getting cold feet. Ah, well, no matter how high you climb, I'll always be here to kick your ass into gear.
That's what I'm counting on.
My brother will do whatever he can to stop us. But I know you can get us through.
I'm sure he's already come up with the perfect plan. But I'm ready for him. I will not lose. For the sake of those we've lost, I can't.
That's more like it. It's your job to make the tough calls. Ours is to make them happen.
Everyone believes in you. You can do it, Claude.
Yeah.
What's wrong, Riley? You've been quiet.
Let's go, Raz.
Huh? Come on, this is our last hurrah before the final fight.
God, you're tense. I said let's go.
Fine. See you, Claude.
That was considerate of her. Hey, remember those adventures we used to go on when we were kids? After it got dark, we'd sneak into that old abandoned house, one at a time, and tag our names in the basement.
I remember that. Kai, the real one, would always go in first. Then he'd hide and wait to jump out and scare us.
Yeah, and you'd run away before you got even halfway there. Except for that one time, when your name somehow showed up with the others.
That was Kai. He felt bad that I could never get to the end, so he wrote it there for me.
I knew that. So did everyone else.
No wonder you all called me Scaredy Claude.
But you're different now. You've grown up a lot. The A2 bomb. It's Angie, isn't it?
Yeah. The Cavalier explosion came from a girl like her. When the Valkyria in the engine room died, it set off a massive chain reaction. Only this time, we're bombing a city with millions of people living in it. Angie is going to die, and she's gonna take countless lives with her. I keep telling myself it's for Galia and for the comrades we've lost, but that doesn't make it any less terrible. And yet I have to do it. I have to. I have to do it. The Federation is still retreating from Operation Northern Cross, and our troops are dying in the Eastern Theater. To end the war,
Claude. The A2 bomb works on Aragnite implosion. The same technology my father and I developed. I took the research he left behind, and I finished it in Vinland. Sublimating the compressed combustion makes it implode. I knew the military would try to weaponize it. But I was okay with that. No, I wanted that. I thought completing my father's research to destroy the Empire was the perfect revenge.
Riley.
Good or evil, right or wrong, I don't know either way. But there's one thing I do know for sure. This isn't just your burden to bear. I'm as guilty as you. If you turn that key, I'll carry the weight with you. So don't keep everything bottled up inside. Come what may, we're in this together.
Riley, thank you.
Oof. So they're detonating a little girl to kill an entire city's worth of people. This, I mean, very clearly parallel to World War II. It's interesting to see how many different ways that they approach that topic. It's always different. It's always horrible.
Land ho! There it is. Schwarzgrad.
We really made it.
Maintain speed and heading. Take us as close as you can, and then we storm the capital.
Aye aye. Speed and heading, steady as she goes.
Wait, something's dead ahead.
Huh?
What? What is that? It looks like an iceberg covered in pillars.
According to the map, we're approaching an island. There's a forest on it. Those are probably trees, frozen over and covered in snow.
Should we go around it?
No. We'll push straight across.
The Centurion is tough, but it's not that tough. It can crush ice, but hit any rocks and will run aground.
The enemy knows that too. They'll be counting on us to maneuver around the island. It's their last chance to stop us from reaching the capital. I'm sure they'll set a trap around the perimeter. In which case, we should surprise them by plowing through. Luckily, we do have a safe route. The Forest of Ice.
You call that safe?
See how densely packed the trees are? There's no room for any rocks large enough to stop us.
True. I don't detect any rocky areas ahead.
I see. The frozen trees should be fairly brittle. It's just insane enough to work. All right, maintaining course. I'll concentrate on steering, so I'm counting on you to keep an eye on what lies ahead.
Right, leave it to me. Once we break through, the capital's only a stone's throw away. Full steam ahead.
Oh, this is nonsense.
Good. Pushing through.
Stop the engine!
What? It's impossible.
He knew all along. This whole time, he was one step ahead.
Incoming transmission. It's an Imperial signal.
Patch it through.
Aye, sir.
This is Captain Forsetti of XO. Attention, Federation Army. We have you surrounded. You have 1 hour to surrender your ship. Otherwise, we will kill everyone on board. That is all.
Forsetti, wait! Forsetti!
They cut the transmission. Enemies behind us. The path we took here is blocked off.
There's no way to go but forward, but those electrified wires would completely disable the ship. There's nowhere left to run. What should we do, Claude?
It's all my fault. I let us right into his trap. No, it's not over yet. There
has to be a way out of this.
In Claude we trust. Ugh.
Did we come this far? Only to lose?
We shall not fail! This ship is a fortress. If they intend on laying siege, then we'll fight them as siege breakers.
We're not in a position to break much, lady. They got us outnumbered 10,000 to 1.
Our only option is to surrender.
Hey, the hell are you giving up for?
I'm not giving up!
Sure you are. You're talking like we already lost.
Can you get us out of this in an hour?
Hell no. Do I look like a guy with a plan?
Then why did you...
But Claude can.
Claude, huh?
He got us this far, didn't he? How many times have we been up against impossible odds, only for my man to pull some genius plan out of his ass? We've all seen it happen. Why don't you trust him now?
You're right. He's done it before. He can do it again.
He's not the type to roll over and wait to die.
Can't argue with that. Sorry. I bet Claude's coming up with a strategy as we speak.
Raz.
What?
Claude's in a meeting on the bridge, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Go to him. What he needs right now is your special brand of idiocy. I mean, encouragement.
Tell him how we all feel.
All right, I got this.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Of course not. I'm grasping at straws here. Sorry. I'll go back to the drawing board.
Hey, hold it!
Raz, what are you doing in here?
I promised I'd kick your ass into gear when you needed it, right? So here I am. Come on, you're the boss here. You can't go making a face like that.
No. I suppose not.
So what's the plan?
The one I had was too risky. We're working on another.
Oh sure, we only just passed the 40-minute mark. No big hurry, take your sweet-ass time. Besides, improvising a crazy stunt at the 11th hour is kind of your MO. Your job's to think up the plan. Carrying it out is mine. Come on, let me hear it.
Fine. I'll tell you.
Brian!
The electric wire blocking our escape is powered by Ragnite. If we temporarily disable it, the ship should be able to make it through before the power turns back on. And Loof has located the generator inside the forest.
Ha! Then all we gotta do is get there and break it.
But we're surrounded, and the generator is heavily guarded.
Still, there is a way to break through their formation. Isn't that right, Claude?
Let me guess. Wind whispers.
Exactly. A strong wind will blow through in 20 minutes. Given the terrain, it'll cause a whiteout.
So, we slip out of the ship while they can't see. Oh man, that's perfect! So what are we sitting around for? Let's get cracking!
No, we can't rely on this plan.
Huh?
If I may, Sergeant, the moment the generator goes down, we'll have to make a beeline for the capital. There, we'll break through their defenses and prepare an escape route for after we set the bomb.
Yeah, I know. Clock's ticking, right?
That's all we have. There's sure to be a backup generator, so every second will count. We won't have time to pick up the strike team after they destroy the generator.
So?
Don't you get it, Raz? It's a suicide mission. There's still time. I'll think of something else.
But Claude...
Get out of here!
No, I ain't going nowhere!
Then I'll leave!
God damn.